So this is Luther Burbank's Home and Gardens. That's what the sign says. When I lived here before, this area here was not this park. It was this street. And you could walk down the street in front of the house. And this part over here was just like that part over there. This little thing here wasn't here at that time, so this is new. But this is the home and gardens of Luther Burbank. Luther Burbank was a botanist, right? That's what they call it, right? Botanist, the guy that puts together different plants to make different species of plant. It says pay here, but it says drop a donation of any amount in the box. I just put my donation in the parking meter. 4 quarters gives you an hour and 17 minutes or something. I used to walk by this when I lived here, but I never really came in and checked it out. Back then, it just wasn't my thing. I had other things on my mind. So let's just take a walk down through here and see.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
That was a big day in Santa Rosa when Edison and Ford came to visit.
I can imagine. Wouldn't you like to be in there to see that?
They had made arrangements with Mr. Burbank. Edison and Burbank had corresponded for years but never met each other. And they were here for the Pan Pacific exhibition in San Francisco. And so they made arrangements with Luther to come up and visit for the day. Nobody else was supposed to know. That's okay. They were just, just the 3 of them were going to visit. Well, word got out. They closed the schools. Everybody was at the train station. There were brass bands. There were children's choirs singing. I'm surprised Ford didn't get back on the train and leave because he hated that kind of thing. This was supposed to be a secret trip.
Display
It
all
didn't
of
work.
ours, right? Because people were interested in her. Well, we change them out every couple of years, but right now it's all about her. And you could see the lady Burbank stayed.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have any children, but her niece, Betty, came to stay.
Well, that was an informative bit of information from the lady inside. Henry Ford and Thomas Edison met here at the Luther Burbank house. That is a big cactus. That's a really big cactus. Never seen one that big, man. If you don't believe that's big, look. Wouldn't that have been something to have been here when Thomas Edison and Henry Ford met each other for the first time in Santa Rosa, California, at Luther Burbank's house. Luther Burbank marries Elizabeth Waters in 1960. In 1915, Luther Burbank visits at his Santa Rosa home with Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, two other famous Americans. 1906, Luther Burbank moves in to his new Tucker Street house, which is no longer standing. I think that house was still here when I lived here, because I remember seeing it. See, because that is the way the street used to look here. So anyway, I'm not sure when it was taken down. In 1884, Luther Burbank buys 4-acre Santa Rosa site, including the existing house and carriage house. So he bought this place in 1884. 1881, Luther Burbank produces 20,000 prune trees in 1 year and is cited as a plant wizard. In 1877, Luther Burbank begins his nursery career. And on March 7th, 1849, Luther Burbank was born in Lancaster, Massachusetts, in that house. He was a world-renowned horticulturist of the late 19th and earliest 20th centuries. Came to Santa Rosa in 1875. His career lasted 50 years. He introduced between 800 and 1,000 new varieties of fruits, vegetables, flowers, nuts, and grains, a number of which are still enjoyed today, such as the Burbank potato, the elephant garlic, the Santa Rosa plum, and the Shasta daisy. Interesting. cool little place. There's a picture of his wife. Man, I love doing stuff like this. Just getting out, walking around, and looking, you know. I may not be the richest man in the world, but when you can do stuff like this, you're definitely not the poorest. I think I'd rather spend my time doing stuff like this than chasing a dollar. Goldfish in the pond. I don't know if you can see them or not. Oh, there's some big goldfish right there. That's what I'm talking about. There's some orange ones. I guess they see my shadow and they come over thinking I'm going to throw some food or bread or something to them. I don't know. Well, the sundial is kind of in the shade, so I'm not sure what time it is. So Luther Burbank moved here like 150 years ago. There's some of the houses, average type house for Santa Rosa, for people that aren't millionaires. And just so you know, these little houses like this sell here for around $500,000. Average price of a, I don't know, small average home, something that we would pay like $200,000 for down in Dixie, Here's about $1 million. See what kind of tree this is. Okay, you can pause if you want to read out loud. Looks like it's fuzzy. Oh, my fingers are dirty, aren't they? I've been doing a little work around the house, you know. Cleaned my van out yesterday and took it, washed it. And then it rained last night, of course. And while I'm on the subject of California, which I wasn't really, but I'm gonna bitch just a little bit. Now, people that know me know Ron likes his Copenhagen. And what kind of Copenhagen does Ron use? Wintergreen. What did California do? They outlawed menthol cigarettes and wintergreen tobacco. There's some nice big irises. Check it out, man. Aren't they pretty? Take some home to your old lady. You might have to pay a big fine for stealing flowers out of the Burbank garden. But anyway, what I was saying. Copenhagen wintergreen. Probably Copenhagen's biggest selling tobacco product. And California outlaws it, right? So I go to the gas station and I go, hey man, give me a can of Copenhagen long cut wintergreen. Oh, we don't have it. You don't have it? Are you just out of it? No, we don't have it at all. California doesn't allow it. I was like, the hell you say? And he's like, yeah man, that's right. You didn't know? And I'm like, no, I'm not from here. He goes, yeah, California outlawed menthol cigarettes and wintergreen tobacco products. So, as disappointed as I was, and needing my nicotine fix, I went ahead and bought a can of Copenhagen long cut regular, which is actually about 10 to 20% smaller than the can of Copenhagen wintergreen that I get in Dixie. Also in Dixie, I pay $3 to $4 a can. This one can of Copenhagen regular long cut cost me $12. Did you hear what I said? $12 for one can. So maybe that's a godsend, because maybe I'll get off of it while I'm out here, because I'm going to be in California for a little while, and I don't think I'm going to drive up to Oregon or over to Nevada just to buy wintergreen Copenhagen. That's one thing I've noticed about coming back out here. The prices of stuff are just outrageous. The rent here is over $1,000 a month, which is pretty much like that in a lot of places. But I was just out of curiosity looking on Zillow and a couple other sites for 1 bedroom, 1 bath apartment to rent. The cheapest one I found was $1,100, and there were none available, of course. And then the one next to that was over $1,700 a month. The average apartment here in Santa Rosa rents for between $2,500 and $2,600 a month. So that's my little gripe for today. There's too many greedy people in the world. That's why people are living in their vehicles and out on the streets and living in tents and all this other crap. Not all these people are alcoholics or drug addicts. They just simply cannot afford a place to live. And that is a shame that in a country as rich as the United States of America, and hey man, look here, we just brought in, thanks to our present crypt keeper, 18 million illegals. What the hell are we going to do with 18 million people? That's like 4 cities the size of San Francisco he just added to our country. What does that do? Shoots the price of everything up. And what does the government do? They take our tax dollars to make sure these people have a place to live, food to eat, money to spend. And if you're a veteran or senior citizen, what do you get? Not a damn thing. Pretty green grapes. That's the Christmas grape, it says. Let me see if I can get that for you. So, it's very expensive to live here. And it got its name of fruits and nuts, the land of fruits and nuts, for a reason. There's a bunch of fruitcakes out here, and there's a hell of a lot of nuts. And to me, it's just a shame. It's a really honest shame that people are so greedy. Maybe someday this country will get its shit together. Probably not in my lifetime, because I probably don't have another 20 years if I have that. Who knows, I might live to be 100. I just don't expect to. Can you smell the roses? So that was a nice little shady walk around Luther Burbank's home and gardens. So once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon.
I like artichokes in the garden. Like as sculpture plant, and yeah. Yeah.
And as always, remember, be kind to each other. Life's too short.